This is SMNI News Channel. Truth that matters.
In the headlines, first in Russia, authorities say a senior general has been assassinated in a car bomb explosion in Moscow, a rare and shocking attack in the heart of the Russian capital. In the United States, President Donald Trump says the U.S. will build a new fleet of Navy battleships named after himself. The announcement comes as part of a broader expansion of American naval power. In the Philippines, the U.S. of the Ombudsman has issued a subpoena ordering the Department of Public Works and Highways to turn over all electronic devices used by former Undersecretary Maria Catalina Cabral. A former spokesperson of the government's anti-insurgency task force says a recent Court of Appeals ruling could weaken recruitment efforts of the communist rebel movement. In Malaysia, the High Court has rejected former Prime Minister Najib Razak's bid for house arrest, ruling the government has no legal authority to enforce such an order. Turning to Europe, Greek farmers blocked major highways in the northern town of Siatista, disrupting freight traffic in nationwide protest over delayed EU subsidy payments and opposition to the EU-Mercosur trade deal. And China puts its artificial intelligence ambitions on display as 6 humanoid robots stole the spotlights, performing a fully synchronized dance during a live court. I'm Prince Tripoli. Newsline World starts now. For our first story, Russian authorities say a senior general has been assassinated in a car bomb explosion in Moscow, a shocking attack in the Russian capital. Paul Montibon reports.
A Russian general has been killed in a car bomb blast in Moscow, according to the Russian Investigative Committee. Officials said the explosion occurred Monday morning in the southern part of Moscow City. They identified the victim as Lieutenant General Vanil Sarvarov, head of operational training at the general staff. Sarvarov died from injuries sustained when an explosive device installed beneath his vehicle detonated Monday morning in the southern part of Russian capital. The blast damaged several other vehicles and left Sarvarov's driver seriously injured. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov described Sarvarov's death as a terrible murder.
Естественно, это страшное убийство, это покушение, и специальные службы будут вести расследование и будут делать то, что должны делать в этой ситуации.
Sarvarov, 56, was head of operational training at the general staff, a senior role within the Russian military. The Russian Investigative Committee said it has opened a criminal case related to alleged murder and illegal trafficking of explosives. Investigators said they are exploring various theories, including the possibility that the crime was organized by Ukrainian special services. Russian officials noted that Ukraine has previously used explosive devices in targeted killings of officials and public figures. The attack follows a similar killing last December when Lieutenant General Igor Kirillov and his aide were killed by a bomb hidden in an electric scooter, an incident investigators later described as a Ukrainian plot. Forgotten my beloved country, the Philippines, reporting for Newsline World, this has been Paul Montibon, SMNI News.
President Donald Trump says the U.S. will build a new fleet of Navy battleships named after himself, a part of a wider expansion of American naval power. MJ Mondihar will give us more details.
U.S. President Donald Trump has unveiled plans for a new Golden Fleet, announcing that the U.S. Navy will commission heavily armed battleships named after himself, the Trump-class USS-defined ships. Constructions would begin soon, with the vessels expected to be operational in about 2.5 years. Speaking at his Mar-a-Lago Golf Club in Florida, alongside senior defense and diplomatic officials, Trump said he had approved 2 battleships initially, with a plan to build as many as 25. He said the ships would be the fastest and most powerful ever built. equipped with hypersonic and other advanced weapons, and would serve as flagships of the U.S. Navy.
They'll be 100 times the force, the power, and there's never been anything like these ships. These have been under design consideration for a long time, and it started with me in my first term, because I said, why aren't we doing battleships like we used to? And these are the best in the world. They'll be the fastest, the biggest, and by far 100 times more powerful than any battleship ever built.
The plan is part of a broader effort to expand the U.S. Navy, including manned and unmanned vessels, amid warnings that the United States trails China in shipbuilding capacity and output. Trump said the vessels would be built in the United States and would create thousands of jobs, and AI will be a big factor with the said ships.
A lot of it's already been done. We've been doing this for months. The construction will create thousands of American jobs. We're going to have the jobs be created. I mean, already we have factories being built unrelated to this, although AI will be a big factor when it comes to these ships. They'll be very AI controlled.
Reporting for Newsline World, this has been MJ Mondihar, SMNI News.
The United Nations is urging Thailand and Cambodia to de-escalate tensions and return to dialogue as deadly border clashes continue between the two Southeast Asian neighbors. The United Nations says it supports Thailand and Cambodia in de-escalating tensions through dialogue and has welcomed a statement issued by a special ASEAN Foreign Ministers meeting convened to address the ongoing conflict. UN spokesperson Stefan Dujarric stressed the importance of both countries engaging in talks with a commitment to ending the violence. ASEAN, led by Malaysia as the bloc's rotating chair, called on both sides to exercise maximum restraint, halt hostilities, and work to restore trust through dialogue, including bilateral channels. The conflict has already claimed dozens of lives. Thailand's military reported 20 soldiers killed, while health authorities said 38 Thai civilians also dead in clashes. Cambodia's Interior Ministry said 21 Cambodian civilians had been killed. Authorities also reported 83 people injured and more than 540,000 displaced, including over 280,000 women and 170,000 children. The Thailand-Cambodian border conflict reignited on December 7, with both sides accusing the other of initiating the attacks. Venezuela says it has shipped 500,000 barrels of crude oil to the United States under existing agreements with U.S. energy giant Chevron, even as Washington continues to seize oil tankers linked to the country. This report from Jane Cunita.
Venezuelan Vice President and Oil Minister Delcy Rodriguez announced the departure of the tanker Canopus Voyager on Sunday. The vessel, owned by Chevron, left Venezuela carrying 500,000 barrels of special Jamaica blend crude bound for Frisco, Texas.
Buenas tardes. Zarpando el buquetanque Canopus Voyager, perteneciente a la empresa Chevron, con 500,000 barriles de Special Jamaica blend, con destino a Frisco, Texas, Estados Unidos, cumpliendo con los convenios internacionales y sobre todo con los convenios establecidos por la empresa Chevron. El Estado venezolano cumple de esta manera sus compromisos.
Rodriguez said the shipment was carried out in strict compliance with national and international regulations. She added that Venezuela remains committed to honoring its agreement with Chevron and other partners. Her announcement comes after the United States intercepted another oil tanker near Venezuela's coast on Sunday. Washington described the seized vessel as part of a sanctioned dark fleet used to evade restrictions on Venezuelan oil exports. Caracas has rejected the seizures, calling them acts of theft and kidnapping. Earlier this month, U.S. authorities also confiscated crude from another tanker in the Caribbean, marking the second seizure under President Donald Trump's administration. This has been Jane Cunita, Global Citizen Correspondent, reporting for Newsline World.
Up next, in Malaysia, the High Court has rejected former Prime Minister Najib Razak's bid for house arrest, ruling the government has no legal authority to enforce such an order. And turning to Europe, Greek farmers blocked major highways in the northern town of Siatista, disrupting freight traffic in nationwide protest over delayed EU subsidy payments and opposition to EU Mercosur trade deal. More news when Newsline World returns.
Sa kabila ng mga mas modernong kaalaman at teknolohiya, nananatiling matindi ang banta ng HIV sa Pilipinas. Pero gaano nga ba kalala ang sitwasyon? Ang HIV o Human Immunodeficiency Virus ay isang sakit na sumisira sa immune system ng katawan. Ngunit tandaan, hindi ito nakukuha sa simpleng pakikisalamuha. Hindi mo agad mararamdaman, pero unti-unti nitong pinapahina ang katawan. At kapag hindi naagapan, humahantong ito sa AIDS, ang huling yugto na impeksyon, kung saan halos wala ng panlaban ng katawan laban sa sakit. Patuloy na dumadami ang kaso ng sakit na ito sa Pilipinas. Isang nakababahalang pagtaas. Umabot na sa 500% ang itinaas ng HIV cases sa mga kabataang edad 15 hanggang 25. Ayon mismo sa Department of Health, 56 na bagong kaso ang naitatala kada araw sa bansa mula Enero hanggang Marso 2025. At ang pinakamatinding apektado, ang kalalakihan at kabataang Pilipino. Dahil dito, ang Pilipinas na ngayon ang may pinakamataas na bilang ng bagong kaso ng HIV sa buong Western Pacific region. Isang indikasyon ng lumulubahang sitwasyon. Kaya nananawagan ng Department of Health gawing opisyal at urgent ang laban sa HIV sa pamamagitan ng isang Public Health Emergency Declaration. Kalalakihan ng pangunahing apektado, 95% ng bagong kaso ay lalaki. Mahigit 1/3 ay kabataang nasa edad 15 hanggang 24. Habang wala pang deklarasyon, patuloy ang DOH sa mga sumusunod na hakbang: HIV testing, libreng gamot, self-test kits, at pakikipagtulungan sa DepEd para sa edukasyon sa mga paaralan. Isinulong rin ng DOH ang online patient appointment system para sa HIV patients. Layunin nitong gawing mas madali at mas personal ang pag-access sa libreng gamutan at konsultasyon ayon sa schedule ng pasyente. Ang HIV ay hindi tulad ng flu. Hindi ito basta naipapasa sa hangin. Ito ay naipapasa sa pamamagitan ng personal na desisyon. Kailangan din nating pagtuunan ng pansin ang ugali, disiplina, at personal na responsibilidad. Isang paalala mula sa SMNI.
Isang pindot lang, pwede kang maka-jackpot. Mukhang masaya at easy money lang. Sa murang halaga, pwede ka na tumaya sa online gambling at e-casino apps. Mayroong sabong, slot machines, mahjong, poker at iba pa. Kailangan mo lang ng smartphone, e-wallet at internet. Pero ang aliw na ito, unti-unting nagiging bitag para sa mga Pilipino. Lalo na kung ang paborito mong artista o influencer ang mukha ng app. Mas madaling makaengganyo, diba? Parang safe naman kasi may kilalang mukha. Pero sa likod ng ngiti, sugal pa rin ang itinutulak. At syempre, mas madali ring itago ang pagkalulong sa bisyong ito. Walang pisikal na kasino o pasugalan, walang kaharap, walang accountability, kaya't mas lumalala ang adiksyon. Dagdag pa rito, maraming online gambling apps at walang regulasyon. Sa likod ng mga makukulay na interface at papremyo, nakatago ang problemang bumabalot ngayon sa bansa. Ang pagkalulong ng maraming Pilipino sa online gambling. Pwede maglaro kahit saan, kahit kailan, kahit sino, bata man o matanda, pwedeng malulong. Ayon sa mga eksperto, ang pagkakalulong sa online gambling ay nagdudulot ng matinding stress at anxiety, pagkakabaon sa utang, pagkawasak ng pamilya, pagkawala ng tiwala sa sarili. At tulad ng ibang bisyo, may mga senyales ito tulad ng hindi makapagpigil kahit walang pera, palihim na tumataya, pagpapabaya sa trabaho, pamilya o sarili. Sa bawat taya, may mga taong tunay na kumikita, mga malalaking negosyante at investors na negosyo ang bisyo ng masa. iba. Para sa kanila, perang pumapasok lang ito. Pero para sa ordinaryong Pilipino, kabuhayan at relasyon ang nauubos. At ang masakit, tila matagal itong nahayaan. Hindi ito naging prioridad ng mga nakaupo sa taas hanggang sa sobrang lumala at halos naapektuhan na ang buong komunidad. Ngayon, sa dami ng nalulung at sa laki ng pinsalang naidulot, sa kapalalong umugong ang mga panukalang batas para higpitan ng online gambling, gaya ng pagbabawal sa paggamit ng e-wallets para tumaya, pagtaas ng minimum bet, mas mahigpit na identity verification, pag-block ng mga illegal na gambling sites, at bawasan o ipagbawal ang mga ads na target ang kabataan. Maaari itong magmukhang laro lang, pero sa katotohanan, isa itong sugal sa kinabukasan. Ang kita na dapat sa mga pangunahing pangangailangan o ipon na uubos sa sugal. At sa mundo ng online gambling, mas madali kang matalo kaysa manalo. Huwag hayaang sugal ang magdikta sa iyong buhay. Isang paalala mula sa SMNI.
Ikaw ba ay namomroblema sa taas ng electric bill buwan-buwan? Huwag mag-alala, narito ang ilang paraan upang makatipid sa kuryente. Patayin ang mga ilaw at appliances kapag hindi ginagamit. Sa halip ay gumamit ng natural na liwanag upang makatipid sa kuryente. Tanggalin sa saksakan ang mga appliances kung hindi ginagamit. Iwasan ang paggamit ng maraming appliances ng sabay-sabay. Gumamit ng LED bulbs. Ito ay mas tipid sa kuryente kumpara sa mga incandescent at fluorescent bulbs. Regular na linisin ang mga appliances tulad ng electric fan, aircon vents at refrigerator. Magkaroon ng takdang araw sa isang linggo sa pamamalansya at paglalaba. Gumamit ng energy-efficient appliances. Tandaan, maging wais sa paggamit ng kuryente upang makatipid para mas gumaan ang buhay. Ang paalalang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng SMNI.
Pasasaan pa ang kalayaan kung ang mga alipin ngayon ay sila din naman mang-aalipin bukas.
Ibigin mo ang iyong bayan ng sunod kay Bathala, sa iyong kapurihan at higit sa lahat sa iyong sarili.
Hindi natin mapapalaya ang ating mga sarili maliban kung sumunong tayo na nagkakaisa sa iisang hangarin.
Ang tunay na makabayan ay ang tumutupad ng pagpapabuti ng kanyang mga kapwa, gaano man kaaba ang kanyang katungkulan. Naway magsilbing paalala ang kanilang mga salita upang lalo nating mahalin at tapat na paglingkuran ang minamahal nating inang bayan.
Maging ligtas, maging handa. Narito ang ilang paalala kung sakaling tumama ang lindol. Maghanda ng emergency kits na may lamang flashlight, pito, first aid kit, tubig at pagkain. Alamin ang emergency exits sa inyong bahay, paaralan o opisina. Habang lumilindol, magtago sa ilalim ng matibay na lamesa upang maprotektahan ang sarili sa mga nahuhulog na bagay. Lumayo sa mga bintana at mabibigat na gamit na maaaring mahulog. Kung ikaw ay nasa labas, lumayo sa mga gusali, puno o poste na maaaring matumba. Kung ikaw ay nagmamaneho, itabi at ihinto ang sasakyan at lumabas. Pagkatapos ng lindol, gamitin ang hagdan sa paglabas ng gusali at huwag gumamit ng elevator. Maging alerto sa aftershocks at manatili sa open space kung kinakailangan. Maging ligtas at maging handa sa anumang sakuna. Ang paalalang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng SMNI.
Maging alerto at handa tuwing may bagyo. Upang manatiling ligtas, narito ang ilang mahahalagang paalala. Manatili sa loob ng bahay. Iwasan ang paglabas, lalo na kung malakas ang ulan at hangin. Mag-imbak ng pagkain at malinis na tubig. Maghanda ng emergency kit. Manatiling updated sa lagay ng panahon. Maghanda ng mga flashlight at extra baterya. Panatilihing fully charged ang iyong cellphone. I-secure ang mahahalagang dokumento sa waterproof na lalagyan. Patayin ang kuryente, gas at tubig kung may banta ng pagbaha. Alamin ang iyong local emergency hotlines. Putulin o tapyasan ang mga sanga ng puno na maaaring mabuwal sa malakas na ulan at hangin. Lumikas agad kung inabisuhan ng mga otoridad. Maging ligtas at maging handa sa panahon ng kalamidad. Ang paalalang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng SMNI. And we're back. Malaysia's High Court has rejected former Prime Minister Najib Razak's request to serve his remaining prison sentence under house arrest, ruling that the government has no legal authority to enforce such an order. Paul Montibon tells us more.
The decision was handed down Monday by High Court Judge Alice Loke. She dismissed arguments relying on the purported royal addendum that former Prime Minister Najib Razak's lawyers said allowed him to complete his sentence at home. The court ruled that addendum had no legal effect. The judge said the Malaysian government had no power and no duty to implement the alleged house arrest order. She stressed that Malaysia's constitutional framework requires the king to act on the formal advice of the Pardons Board when exercising the power of mercy. The judge also acknowledged that the existence of the royal addendum itself was not disputed. However, she said it has never discussed during the Pardons Board meeting in January 2024, which focused solely on reducing Najib's sentence. Najib is serving time over his conviction in SRC international case and key part of the wider 1MDB corruption scandal. He was found guilty in 2020 of misappropriating 42 million ringgit or about $10 million. His original 12-year sentence was cut to 6 years earlier this year by the Pardons Board. The 1MDB scandal is estimated to involve the laundering about $4.5 billion. Najib, now 72, will continue serving his sentence at Kajang Prison in Selangor, with his term set to end in August 2028. His legal team has filed an appeal against Monday's ruling. The decision comes ahead of another key verdict expected on Friday in Najib's main 1MD trial. He faces 25 charges linked to the alleged misappropriation of 2.2 billion ringgit and abuse of power, all of which he denies. Najib served as Malaysia's Prime Minister from 2009 to 2018 and was once among the country's most powerful political figures. Forgotten my beloved country, Philippines. Reporting for Newsline World, this has been Paul Montebon, SMNI News.
Greek farmers block major highways in the northern town of Siatista, restricting freight truck movement as part of nationwide protests over delayed European Union subsidy payments in opposition to the EU-Mercosur trade agreement. This report from Joy Tabanao.
In Greece, dozens of tractors were parked along key routes Saturday, including the Ignatia Highway and the Kojan-Ioana National Road. Freight trucks were forced to stop, while passenger vehicles and buses were allowed to pass normally. Farmers say the proposed EU-Mercosur agreement and increased imports from Ukraine threaten local agricultural production. They argue important products are not subject to the same plant protection standards imposed on European farmers, making domestic goods less competitive.
Βρισκόμαστε εδώ για να διαμαρτυρηθούμε για όλα αυτά που συμβαίνουν στην επικαιρότητα πάνω στα αγροτικά θέματα, όπως είναι η συμφωνία της Mercosur, όπως είναι προϊόντα διάφορα που έρχονται από την Ουκρανία και μας επηρεάζουν πάρα πολύ στα προϊόντα που έχουμε. Θα εισάγονται τα φρούτα και τα λαχανικά και όλα αυτά χωρίς να έχουν τα ίδια φυτοπροστατευτικά κριτήρια που έχουμε εμείς. Όλο αυτό κάνει τα δικά μας να είναι πιο ακριβά και αυτά που θα εισάγονται να είναι πιο φθηνά. Όλο αυτό όμως είναι μια πολιτική της κυβέρνησης και της Ευρωπαϊκής Ένωσης που μας οδηγεί σε αυτή την κατάσταση. Μας υποχρεώνει να χρησιμοποιούμε φυτοπροστατευτικά προϊόντα τα οποία είναι πανάκριβα εδώ πέρα, ενώ τα εισαγόμενα δεν τα ελέγχει κανείς και είναι αμφιβόλου ποιότητας για τον καταναλωτή.
Protesters also raised concerns over delayed subsidy payments linked to an ongoing investigation into alleged fraud under the EU's Common Agricultural Policy. Authorities estimate false land and livestock declarations may amount to more than 30 million euros. The government says payments were reduced while claims are being verified.
Σε εμάς είναι πρωταρχικός ρόλος να λυθούν αυτά τα θέματα και να επιστραφούν τα χρήματα στους πραγματικούς αγρότες, γιατί η ύπαιθρος, ειδικά εδώ η περιοχή μας, να γίνουμε τι? Να αφήσουν τα χωράφια τους οι άνθρωποι, να αλλάξουν επάγγελμα ξαφνικά στα 50 τους χρόνια.
Farmers say protests will continue, warning that future actions will focus on targeted freight blockages while allowing citizens to move freely as the EU-Mercosur trade deal awaits approval by member states and the European Parliament. Joy Tabanao, your citizen correspondent reporting for Newsline World.
An alleged shoplifter is facing attempted murder charges after pulling a handgun on a police officer during a confrontation inside a Walmart store in Canton, Ohio. More of this story from Almar Fusuelo.
This body camera video shows the suspect pulling the trigger, but the gun failed to fire. Ohio police says officers were called to the Walmart on Atlantic Boulevard Northeast on Thursday after store employees reported a suspected theft. The suspect and a female companion were escorted to a loss prevention office for questioning. According to court records, the male suspect, 21 years old, Shane Newman, suddenly pulled the handgun and pointed it directly at the officer while seated in the room. A Walmart asset protection employee quickly intervened, tackling the suspect and helping officers restrain him. No one was injured during the incident. Authorities say the suspect now faces multiple felony charges, including attempted murder of a police officer, felonious assault, robbery, and weapons violations. Police also reported recovering illegal drugs during the arrest. The woman was with him has been charged in connection with the alleged theft. Police officials say the case underscores the risk officers face even during routine calls. The suspect remains in custody as the investigation continues. Reporting for Newsline World, Almar Forsualo, SMNI News.
When we come back, in the Philippines, the Office of the Ombudsman has issued a subpoena ordering the Department of Public Works and Highways to turn over all electronic devices used by former Undersecretary Maria Catalina Cabral. A former spokesperson of the government's anti-insurgency task force says a recent Court of Appeals ruling could weaken recruitment efforts of the communist rebel movement. And China puts its artificial intelligence ambitions on display as 6 humanoid robots stole the spotlight, performing a fully synchronized dance during a live concert. Stay tuned for more news.
Sa panahon ng tag-ulan, hindi lang baha at ulan ang dapat bantayan, kundi pati na rin mga sakit na pwedeng makahawa. At dahil ngayon ay rainy season, nagbabala ang Department of Health laban sa tinatawag na wild diseases. 4 na klase ng sakit na karaniwang nakukuha ng tao tuwing maulan. Ito ang W o waterborne diseases, gaya ng pagdudumi o gastroenteritis. I o influenza-like illnesses, gaya ng sipon, ubo at lagnat. L o leptospirosis, na maaaring makuha mula sa ihi ng mga daga sa baha. At D o dengue, na dala ng mga lamok. Kapag baha, mas mabilis kumalat ang mikrobyo. Kaya't ugaliin ang paghuhugas ng kamay at agad maligo matapos lumusong sa baha. Ano ang dapat gawin para maiwasan ang wild diseases? Tumutok sa weather updates. Magsuot ng kapote at bota. Siguraduhing malinis ang iniinom na tubig. Agad kumonsulta sa health center kung may nararamdamang sintomas. Mainam din gawin ang 40 o ang taob, taktak, tuyo at takip para maiwasan ang dengue sa bahay at komunidad. Maglinis, magmasid, mag-ingat. Labanan ang wild diseases ngayong tag-ulan. Ang paalalang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng SMNI.
And we're back. A former spokesperson of the Philippine government's anti-insurgency task force says a recent Court of Appeals ruling could weaken recruitment efforts of the communist rebel movement. MJ Mondiha reports.
The Court of Appeals has affirmed the conviction of former ACT Teachers Party List Representative France Castro, former Bayan Muna lawmaker Saturo Campo, and several others over child abuse and kidnapping charges linked to an incident in Davao del Norte sometime in 2018. The appellate court upheld the Tagum City Regional Trial Court's decision sentencing the accused to up to 6 years in prison for violating Republic Act 7610 or the Special Protection of Children Against Abuse, Exploitation, and Discrimination Act. To recall, the case stemmed from the removal of 14 minors from a Salugpungan School in Talaingo, Davao del Norte. Former President Rodrigo Duterte previously ordered the closure of Salugpungan schools, alleging they were being used as recruitment hubs for New People's Army or NPA. Authorities have said the Salugpungan schools were not accredited by the Department of Education and were accused of indoctrinating indigenous youth into joining the NPA to fight against the government. For former NTF-ELCAC spokesperson Dr. Rain Badoy, the Court of Appeals ruling dealt a significant blow against the CPP-NPA-NDF.
Maraming salamat talaga sa Court of Appeals kasi kung hindi gagamitin nila yan. Bakit? No, para ma-recruit ang mga anak natin.
The Makabayan Coalition is still hoping that the Supreme Court will reverse the Court of Appeals decision. Former President Duterte has previously described Makabayan as a legal front of the CPP-NPA-NDF, and the allegation the group denies. Badoy said the ruling is a welcome development, claiming that recruitment efforts by left-leaning groups have extended even to detainees.
Kasi habang nagsasalita tayong lahat, habang nag-aaway-away sa politika, ang salot na yan, itong mga komunistang teroristang ito, they're very focused on recruiting our children. Kahit sa BJMP, nagre-recruit sila.
Badoy then urged Filipinos to remain vigilant against what she described as propaganda by the CPP-NPA-NDF, saying that they are the real enemies of the government and the Filipino people.
Ang Pilipino na mismo ang lumalaban sa kanila, dyan mismo sa social media, sa pages mismo nila na hindi sila nakakasabat, di ba?
Reporting for Newsline World, this has been MJ Mondihap, SMNI News.
The Office of the Ombudsman has issued a subpoena ordering the Department of Public Works and Highways to produce all electronic devices used by former Undersecretary Maria Catalina Cabral. According to the Ombudsman, the devices will be examined as part of its investigation into the alleged flood control scandal. Authorities will inspect the gadgets and other electronic equipment to determine whether any files or data have been alerted, deleted, or attempted since the controversy became public. The Ombudsman stated that the move is intended to ensure that no evidence is lost or concealed during the ongoing investigation. It also stressed that it expects the Department of Public Works and Highways to comply promptly with the subpoena. Former Undersecretary Cabral died last week after reportedly failing into a ravine along Cannon Road in Tuba, Benguet. She was regarded as a key figure in the controversial flood control projects allegedly linked to billions of pesos in budget insertions within the DPWH. Philippine National Police Acting Chief Police Lieutenant General Jose Melesio Nartatis Jr. personally visited police officers wounded in a recent armed encounter in Quezon Province, expressing solidarity and commendation for their bravery. Paul Montibon has the story.
Acting PNP Chief Nartatis assured his personnel that they are not alone in times of hardship as he visited the United Candelaria Doctors Hospital in Quezon to check on injured officers and pay his respect to a colleague who died in the line of duty. Amid the difficult circumstances, Nartatis personally extended his support to the wounded officers and their families, underscoring the PNP leadership's commitment to its personnel. The visit came after an armed encounter on the evening of December 19, 2025 along Barangay Road near Sitio Pulyok in Barangay San Isidro, Candelaria, Quezon. Police were on mobile patrol when they encountered armed individuals near a banana plantation. One of the suspects opened fire, prompting the officers to return fire in self-defense. The incident left 2 police officers wounded and 1 killed. At the hospital, Acting Chief Nartatis personally awarded the Medalya ng Sugatang Magiting and Medalya ng Kadakilaan to the injured officers, recognizing their courage and sacrifice in the line of duty. He also assured that financial assistance was immediately released to help cover their medical treatment and recovery. Nartatis likewise observed a moment of solemn tribute for Patrolman Ron J. Chavez of the 2nd Quezon Provincial Mobile Force Company, who was declared dead on arrival following the encounter. Through his presence, Acting PNP Chief Nartatis delivered a clear message. Police officers will not be left alone in times of trial. Every act of bravery is recognized and every sacrifice is honored. For God and my beloved country, the Philippines, reporting for Newsline World, this has been Paul Montibon, SMNI News.
Former tennis star Anna Kournikova and international music icon Enrique Iglesias have officially become a family of 6 after welcoming their 4th child together. Kournikova, now 44, shared the news in a rare social media post on Instagram, giving fans a glimpse into the couple's growing family. The announcement comes just months after reports confirmed that Kournikova was pregnant, following her largely private lifestyle away from the public eye. No further details about the newborn have been released, as the couple continues to keep family matters largely private. Meanwhile, South Korean stars Shin Mi-an and Kim Woo-bin have tied the knot in Seoul, celebrating their wedding in a star-studded ceremony attended by fellow celebrities. The South Korean power couple tied the knot on Saturday, December 20, in Seoul, in an intimate yet star-studded ceremony attended by fellow celebrities from the entertainment industry. Photos from the event show the couple glowing as they celebrated the milestone surrounded by close friends and family. The newlyweds have yet to release an official statement, but fans worldwide have flooded social media with messages and congratulations. Meanwhile, China showcased its growing strength in artificial intelligence as 6 humanoid robots captured audience attention by performing a fully synchronized dance during a live concert. Joy Tabanao for the story.
China is once again showcasing its advances in AI and robotics. This time, on a concert stage, 6 humanoid robots stole the spotlight at a recent concert in China after performing a fully synchronized dance alongside music and lighting effects. Video from Wang Lihun's concert shows the robots moving in near-perfect unison, executing precise arm motions, coordinated steps, and timed turns, drawing loud cheers from the audience. Tesla CEO Elon Musk also retweeted a video of the dancing robots, calling it impressive. Developed using advanced AI, motion sensors, and balance control systems, the humanoid robots were programmed to respond to rhythm and spatial cues, allowing them to perform complex choreography without human assistance on stage. Engineers say the performance highlights rapid progress in China's robotics industry, particularly in humanoid movement, coordination, and real-time control. Experts note that while the dance was designed for entertainment, the same technology could later be applied to manufacturing, healthcare, education, and disaster response. The performance underscores how artificial intelligence is moving beyond labs and factories, finding new roles in culture, entertainment, and everyday life. Joy Panao, your citizen correspondent reporting for Newsline World.
Meanwhile, an immersive media art display is drawing crowds in Seoul as a festive light show transforms a city facade into a vibrant canvas of color, motion, and holiday-themed imagery. This large-scale media art display has been drawing crowds as visitors gathered to watch a festive light show transforming a building facade into a canvas of color and motion. The light show features a mix of dynamic imagery and festive themes, attracting both locals and tourists. Many visitors stopped to take photos and videos, capturing moments to remember and share. Some shared their reactions, describing the experience as both memorable and inspiring.
친구들이랑 밥 먹고 카페 갔다가 근처 걷다가 경복궁 왔는데 미디어 아트 하는 거 보니까 좀 웅장하기도 하고 예쁘고 이제 대한민국이 자랑스럽습니다.
We came here for Christmas and really enjoyed the performance, and yeah, we are happy to be here and to celebrate Christmas and Happy New Year.
We took a lot of pictures, we took a video, and it's excellent. And we are going to take these memories back to India from where we come, and also recommend the same to our friends and family. And I'm sure they'll love to visit this place again.
The media art display continues to draw crowds, offering a festive experience as visitors celebrate the holiday season and welcome the new year. And before we end, may you be inspired with the words of the song. Guard your mind, soul, and heart, that they will remain upright in the sight of God. And for our Christmas countdown, only 2 days to go before Christmas. And that's all for this edition of Newsline World. For God in my beloved country, the Philippines, I'm Prince Tripoli. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.